Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to week 3 of our dream house build. I'm taking you guys along on our home building journey. As stressful as it is, it's just nice to share this with all you guys. I keep getting requests from everybody through Instagram and YouTube just to keep sharing because you guys love watching the journey, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm starting out the day today running into Walmart. I have to get some like warm socks for Jeff and some undershirts and stuff like that because the weather is getting a lot colder. So he is freezing his butt off over there and I'm just fighting a little bit of the sniffles here. So I've had a little bit of a hoarse voice, so I don't really sound like myself, but anyway, so I have to do that. I have to go drop off a sandwich for Pacey and then we are heading to the house. I also brought with me our plans and our window order. I have to confirm our window order ASAP in order to get our windows anytime remotely soon because windows are really backed up right now. So I think if I place the order today, we'll get them sometime in January. So fingers crossed. And I hope I do everything right. So I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna help Jeff. He's squaring off the house for framing. So that's interesting. We started that yesterday. So yeah, I'll take you guys along. I'll do some videoing, share with you whatever we are working on, and I hope you guys enjoy. Here we go. Need a hand or you got it?
Really?
All right, now that we have our foam laid down, we are using pressure treated lumber as our first layer. That is the sill plate. This is where the framing starts. So we have to use pressure treated lumber so it doesn't rot up against the concrete, and then we will use regular lumber.
Okay, so while Jeff is working on getting the wood along the foundation of the house, we've got this machine here grading the yard. Still waiting on some more loads from the dump trucks, which we're not running this morning, so we're waiting. And Jeff is over there behind the dirt pile.
Alrighty, so now that we have the sill plates put all along the edge of the house, we can start working on the supporting walls in the basement. So now these walls are going to support the floor joists for the first floor. That is going to be basically our whole main floor. So this house is 2 floors. We need these basement supporting walls to go on before we can put those floor joists on. So we are getting that done today.
Here we go.
Grab one of the longer ones.
What's that? Like
no, like the 8-foot ones.
8-foot. This guy here?
Try it.
I have something for you guys in my purse.
Line it up at the end of there.
Okay,
Like this?
Keep going. Keep going.
oh, is it
At the
these?
end. Line it at the end. So it's like, yeah.
these?
Yeah. One sec. Push it. Okay. There.
Good?
Yeah.
Mom, is all
But
clear?
what happens with the rest of that? Is it okay? Like, what's going on there?
No, I still good stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's all clear?
There's more than 3.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Two each?
I got, there should be 7, I think.
Two
Actually,
each?
nail this one.
Where's the others, Mom? Okay, Mom, I'm opening 2, right?
So what's going to happen now? Here,
Mom,
3 3/4.
At first, when we started the framing of the house, it took a little bit getting used to. Jeff doesn't really do a lot of house framing. He mostly does like interior renovations and stuff like that. So it took just a little bit to get us going, but once we got going, we were on a roll. And actually, at this moment, there's a lot more done to the house than you see in this video. So I do have to catch up on getting a couple more videos out for you guys. So I cannot wait to show you guys how much we have done so far. Definitely a lot more than what you see here, but I also really want to show you guys the whole process because I know a lot of you guys are interested in like how to build a house yourselves, or just the whole process in general. So that's why I wanted to document all this stuff here. But as you can see, we are working on the supporting walls in the basement. So this is actually going to be the stairwell to the basement. So what we did over there is we put pressure treated wood that is going to be basically the base of that wall. Now it has to be pressure treated because you don't want it to get any moisture and to start rotting. So the bottom one is pressure treated, and then this wall that we are building right here is going to sit right on top of that. Now that that wall is basically ready to go, we are going to be drilling holes in the pressure treated wood. So Jeff is using a special drill bit that's made for concrete, and we broke numerous amounts of these drill bits. I don't know, I think we went through maybe 3 or 4 of them, definitely more than 3, maybe it was like 4 or 5, but I'm pretty sure it was like, I want to say it was like $13 per bit. So every time you break one, it's like, oh, darn it, broke another bit. But luckily we only need a few of these drilled into the concrete. So we are doing that right now, and then we will be placing the wall on top of there. All right, that piece of wood is set in place, and we can go ahead and stand up the first supporting wall in the basement. So I'm just standing here holding onto the wall while Jeff is making sure everything is square and that the wall is totally level. Now I know it has to be that way when you're building a house because obviously you don't want your house to be crooked, but Jeff is like very particular. Like it cannot be off by the slightest little bit, like a millimeter, and he's got to fix it. So I'm here for a while he makes sure that everything is just so. Okay, so here we are on the next day. We are back at the house. Jeff is still working on getting those basement walls finished up. I'm gonna do some cleanup around the yard and just around the work site because there's a lot of scraps kicking around. So I'm just gonna take those over to the back of the yard over there, and we'll have a little bit of a bonfire to get rid of those scraps. And yeah, I'm just helping out where I can. Obviously, I don't know how to frame walls, so I just try to make myself useful. I hand Jeff tools, I clean up, hold walls, stuff like that. Right now, Jeff is building the last wall in the utility room, so you can see the doorways being formed there. And I am still doing just clean up around the outside yard area. So that's what we're working on here. So I was laughing the other day because I was rewatching this and putting the clips all together, and I'm like, oh, look at this, my first clean with me video in the new house. I'm sweeping the garage. I cannot wait to actually do real cleaning and homemaking videos when this house is done, but this is about as good as it's gonna get for now. Now that I've gotten that area cleaned up, it's so much better for Jeff to work in. There's no pieces of lumber that he's going to trip on. And the sawdust, you know, that was just all kind of getting nasty. So that's all nicely swept away. And with every cut he does, there's going to be more sawdust, but that's okay. We just want to keep a nice clean workspace. In this clip here, you're going to notice that I start to inspect something and I just kind of keep going back and forth and staring and checking the plans. And that's when I notice that something is just not quite right. So Jeff just loves when I do that. Not really, because he knows that's when there's something wrong. And then there's me going over to him, basically wondering if I should say something or not. A lot of times what I do around here is, like I said, I help Jeff lift walls and hand him tools and stuff like that. But the other thing that I do is I carefully inspect everything and I question things. So here I found that there was something off.
It's just it's one nightmare after another.
Okay, but
Well, that's a nightmare now.
yeah, not your nightmare.
Oh yeah, it is.
Why is it yours?
Because I probably should have had it over there, I guess.
What does it say on
They
the
just
plans?
doesn't say anything on the plans. It doesn't tell you where to put
So
fucking
you just
water line.
you can just put it up into the floor?
Well, no.
Like, is that a floor drain, that black tube?
Yeah.
So that's not a big deal. It's not
No,
water.
that's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's not where the water line is supposed to be.
Where is that water line got to go into?
gotta go to? Where's it gonna lead
It's right
to?
there. And it goes to a meter. That's like right in the middle of the floor. You can't
The
have
meter
that.
doesn't go in the middle of the floor.
After, like later on, I gotta finish building a wall here.
But that's not a supporting wall, so we don't have to do it right now.
Oh, that's it.
We figured this is what is going to happen with that water line. That water line is going to have to be moved, so we have to break up the concrete. So it's the skinny tube there, that's in the wrong spot. That's supposed to be up against the wall because now the water, I don't know if it's a water meter or whatever it is, whatever it connects to has to be mounted like up against the wall. Otherwise, you have it like right in the middle of your utility room floor, which makes zero sense. I don't know why in the world it would have been placed there. But that big black one, that is the water drain. So that just needs to be cut down. That's not a problem at all.
Check this corner here.
Oh. Right here? Well,
Okay, take it off. Take it off, put it on again.
oh God.
'Cause I just want to see if the walls. Well, you gotta hold it flat, honey. You're not flat at all.
I didn't notice. I'm trying
Are you pushing on the wall or no?
to, no. Don't
No,
think
it looks
so.
pretty level then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so over here on this supporting wall, we forgot to put in the like little pocket to hold the beam. So we have to cut that out and put that in now. Like I said before, once we got the hang of what we had to do, it was a lot easier, but it was like the first few walls that we put up, we were just kind of unsure of things, but now we're good to go. We are actually even already starting to frame the second floor. So I have a lot more content to put out for you guys so you guys can actually see the steps on what we have done. This right here is one of the reasons that I haven't been able to get a lot of cleaning videos done or even keep our rental house like organized and tidy. It's because I spend a lot of my time at the house helping Jeff whenever I can. Obviously, like he can work by himself, but if I'm there, it's a lot more help. And we did also get a quote on having the house framed by somebody else, but it just really didn't make financial sense for us to do that because I mean, Jeff can do most of it himself, so it's a huge savings for us, and that's basically how we build our equity. So for us, it just did not make sense to dish out the money to have somebody else frame it. Even though it's a pain in the butt and it's a lot of work for us, like I said, we're going to save in the long run. All right, so here we are on another day. You can see it's starting to get colder out. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. You should see it now. Oh my God. If you guys have been following my Instagram and checking out my Insta stories, you will see how much snow has like fallen into the house. And it's like, oh my gosh. Every time it snows, we head out there with our shovels and we have to shovel it all out. We really didn't want to have to be at this stage in the winter. We were hoping to have it done in the summer, but it didn't turn out that way. So it just makes everything a lot more work.
I gotta go all the way along there.
And then as we put this other rim joist here, this is closer.
All right, so we are just going along the edge here, trying to straighten out the rim joist. It is kind of leaning in there, so we are just taking our time putting the floor joist on, and yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into trying to make sure that everything is level and straight, and Jeff is super picky, so everything takes a little bit longer because he's a perfectionist when he is building. my job is to basically go along the rim joist and the floor joist and take the level and just drag it along and just kind of make sure that the floor is going to be level all the way from the back of the house to the front of the house. And then as I do that, Jeff is nailing, I don't even know what they're called. They're like they look like little floor joists. I don't know if they're, no, I don't know what they are. They're like little mini floor joists that go in between. They're not the rim joists, and I know what they're called, but you know, and sometimes you just kind of lose it from your mind. But anyways, it basically fills in the space in between the floor joist and the rim joist. Alright, so right over here is where we are trying to get the floor joists all put on the house, as well as that rim joist. You can see that one rim joist is leaning into the right a little bit, so we are trying to fix that to make sure everything is all level, because it is really important that we have this base part level before we start framing the rest of the house. These floor joists are really long, so I'm just helping Jeff carry those over the span across the main floor of the house. So these joists are going to support our first floor. They're pretty heavy, like they're not terrible. Obviously I can help lift, but they're just really awkward and kind of a pain to get on there. But I was able to help Jeff get those on there so we can move along.
This one looks like it's been murdered.
Good? Some blood?
No, just like all that blood.
Oh.
Looks like there's blood dripping.
Alright, so we have another day of setting these floor joists. As soon as we get these floor joists on, we can start the sheeting, and then after the sheeting we can start the main floor walls. So I'm really excited to get this part up because that means we are out of the foundation. And here we are just making sure that all of the floor joists are nice and straight and level. So Jeff is going through with his framing nailer and just nailing them all down into place. And I'm just kind of on the other side making sure that they are all lined up. Here Jeff is making a quick call to our floor joist manufacturer. We had to order one more joist to throw in there because something went a little bit wonky with the measurements for the spacing of the floor joist. So we needed one extra one to throw in. We're just about done placing them. We have a little bit more to go there, just on the right side of the screen. It ends just past there. So once we get all of those joists put on, we can go ahead and finish the rim joists and then do the floor sheeting. So that'll be in my next video. You guys will see some more stuff, but that is all for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure you guys are subscribed so you guys don't miss any of my future videos, and so you guys can follow along with our building journey. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.